changes in the history of Brawl Stars. I think. At least it's huge. You got 21 brawlers getting buffed, 6 brawlers getting nerfed, 53 total balance changes. I'm gonna go over all of them, so make sure you buckle up because this meta is going to be completely different. Alright, we're starting out with the nerfs. 6 brawlers getting nerfs here, and a lot of these brawlers got a bunch of nerfs. Brock is getting 4 nerfs. His health getting decreased by almost 8%. Okay, his main attack damage getting decreased by about 6%. That's definitely justified. The damage from his incendiary star power is getting decreased by about 13%. Goodbye, Brock and Heist. And also his new gadget will now do 50% less extra damage. Before, it did equivalent to 2 shots. Now it does the equivalent of 1.5 shots worth of damage. Still a lot of damage. Still a really good gadget. Next, Carl got some nerfs as well. First off, his attack range decreased by 13%. That's huge. And that's also a nerf to his newest gadget, which teleports him to the end of that attack range. Now they can't go as far. Also, his supercharge rate is very slightly lowered. Not actually that big of a change. Also, he actually has a small buff. This is the only buff in this list. Kind of weird. Anyways, his gadget, the heat ejector gadget that has a little trail of fire, which is like the worst gadget in the game by far, that damage has been increased by 33% to now 400 damage per second. Still an awkward gadget in my opinion, but it's definitely better. Gene has 5 balance changes. Alright, first off, his health decreased by about 6%. Okay, his super charge rate from his main attack now takes 1 extra hit to charge. His super went from 3 hits to 4, and also his gadget got a bunch of changes. First off, the radius of the push is now the same as M's, and also the healing got decreased by about 14%, but as a result, it can now be used 3 times per match instead of 2. Overall, probably a buff being able to use it 3 times. Spike got a small nerf. His attack reload speed decreased by 5%. Still gonna be destroying tanks left and right with the crazy damage that he does, but he'll be doing it slightly less often. Still gonna be a good brawler. Tara is actually getting some nerfs. Tara has definitely some good uses. Tara's health decreased by about 6%. Alright, and also, I don't know, I'm really surprised to see this, but Tara's Psychic Enhancer duration, the one that lets you see all bushes, the duration of that has now been reduced by 1 second, from 5 seconds to 4. I mean, don't get me wrong, she's kind of OP on Snake Prairie, but like, there's not that many maps this is very good on, so weird. Tick is also getting a nerf. Interestingly, his attack reload speed got decreased by 4.5%. I mean, Tick is annoying, don't get me wrong, so I'm okay with it, but he's not like overpowered or anything. Anyways, also there's one other nerf that affects a couple brawlers. All abilities that self-heal from damage, like Nita's Bear With Me, Pam's, the one, her star power where you hit stuff and get healed, Mortis's super, and M's star power that heals from her super. All of those abilities now only heal if they are hitting brawlers or like robots in a robot mode. And this will be a nerf to, like, it used to before, it would be like if you hit a turret or something, it would still get that heal. If you hit a showdown box, you would still get the heal. In some cases, that is no longer true. It's only versus brawlers. And as a result, those abilities are all getting buffs, which you'll see. Okay, I gotta breathe. Now for the insanely long list of buffs here. Alright, this is huge. First of all, I'm gonna try to be quick, but there's a lot of them. 8-bit, his damage booster, damage boost, has been increased by 20%. So that is a better star power now, which I think is good because the other one was so much more useful for a slow brawler. Bull Berserker now triggers at 60% health instead of 40. This is insane. That's a huge buff to Berserker. The other one was definitely more used, but we'll see. This is definitely going to be the better star power now, in my opinion, unquestionably. Now, Colette is getting 2 buffs. Her health is going to increase by about 6% here, and also she's getting a bigger shield when she first uses mass attacks. It's not for the extra from hitting people, it's just as soon as she uses that mass attacks ability, as soon as she's super, she gets a 20% shield instead of 10%. Colt is getting 2 buffs. His damage is getting increased by 12.5%. I definitely think he deserves buffs, so I'm excited to see it. We'll see how he does now. And Slick Boots is now the same movement speed as a very fast brawler like Crow. It's technically a 3% increase from 10% increased movement speed to 13. I think Colt's going to be in a pretty good place. We'll see. Crow is getting 3 changes. His slowing toxin duration is getting increased by 2.5 seconds, 40% increase. I don't really like this star power or this ability, but it will definitely be really solid now. 5% duration is really long. His changes to his shield gadget. Defense booster now, instead of shielding 60%, it shields 40%, but you can use it 3 times a match instead of 2. I've been asking for this literally since the day they changed it from 2 to 3, or maybe even before that. From 3 to 2. So I'm glad to see this. This is what it should have been. Good job. Daryl's new gadget is getting a duration increase by 1 second. Honestly, this gadget sucks, and when I was reviewing this, I totally forgot that Daryl can knock brawlers with his super, which kind of makes this pointless, because that's a huge interruption in itself, and afterwards, it's pretty whatever. Maybe in Siege, this will be useful for defense. Anyways, Dynamite is getting a reload speed buff by 6%, and Fidget Spinner is getting a huge damage boost from a 71% damage boost, and now each of those little sticks will deal 1,200 damage. This is a crazy boost, but it's definitely justified. We'll see. This could be a pretty good gadget now. Decent amount of damage and reload speed buff. I'm happy to see it. I think that's a fine buff for Dynamite. Ems also getting 3 buffs, partly as a result of the stuff we talked about earlier, but Ems' attack damage increased by 4%. Pretty small buff. It's fine. No big deal. Also, super damage increased by 20%. Sounds like a lot, but it's still not a lot of damage, so, you know, okay, fine. And also, the healing from Hype has been increased by 31% per Brawler hit. And, of course, it no longer works on stuff like turrets now. Now, Frank is getting a health increase, right? His biggest weakness. Getting increased by 9.4%. All right, sure, why not? Let's give him more health. What could go wrong? Okay, Gale is also getting a health increase by 6%. All right, fine, no big deal. Jackie's Counter Crush is basically twice as effective now. It used to give 15% damage back, and now it does 30% damage reflected to the enemy. Interesting, we'll see. It's going to be not bad for sure, but I don't know. And also, Jackie's damage increased by almost 7%. Okay, you know, Jackie's definitely in a good spot. Jessie. That's right, Jessie, 3 buffs. Woohoo! Jessie's main attack damage increased by almost 10%. That's good. I'm sorry, noobs. You're going to hate facing Jessie now. Not like you already did it. Energize is now 12% better. It heals 12% more per hit. I'm cool. I'm about it. Scrappy's health increased by about 7%. Hey, Jessie might be a meta brawler now. All right, Leon is also getting a very small buff to Smoke Trails. The speed boost getting increased by 6%. It's going to be definitely very fast now. I don't know. In Showdown, it'll be better for sure. Not like that was a weak mode for him. Mortis, the life steal from his super increased by 25%. This is a change from what I was talking about earlier. Mr. P's attack damage increased by 8.6%. You know, that's definitely a solid attack damage increase. You know, the thing is, there's so many balance changes, it's going to be hard to tell what the best brawlers will be. Mr. P was not a bad brawler and he got a buff, right? But there's so many buffs. Next up, Nita, 10% damage buff. That's huge. And also 60% buff to the amount of healing to Bear With Me, and that goes both ways. Okay, so now it's 800 damage per hit for healing, for Bear hitting something or you hitting something and healing the bear. Dude, Nita's Bear With Me combined with the shield gadget is going to be overpowered. Plus that damage boost, Nita's also going to be in a good spot. Pam, 3 buffs. Pam super healing increased by 12.5%. Didn't really think that was a weakness, but that's cool. Also, Mama's Hug healing increased by 20% per hit. But of course it only affects brawlers now, not turrets or anything. And Mama's Squeeze damage per second increased by 60% to 800 damage per hit. I'm happy to see that because it was kind of a mediocre star power, but now more aggressive Pam gameplay possibly, for sure. Snappy Sniping for Piper also getting a buff. It now gives another 1/10 of an ammo, which is a 33% buff. You know what? I think that's totally cool. Her other star power was probably a lot more used. and more potential to be great. Okay, Rico, 2 buffs. Health increase by 7.5%, a little bit more. That's a good buff for Rico. Also going to impact, of course, his speed star power will be activated sooner. And also super bouncy damage is increased by 24% to 124 extra damage per after you bounce. Cool, because this star power definitely not very used. I think a lot of people prefer the crazy speed that you can get, which is also kind of got a buff, you know, with the health increase. But that's a lot of extra damage, so we'll have to see which one's more used. Sandy got a small buff to his healing star power. Healing wins 20% more health per second. Alright, cool. Not a crazy change. Shelly, 2 buffs. Shell Shock. Now, the slow duration was increased by 33% by 1 second to 4 seconds. Alright, I think that's fine. Not a big deal. And Band-Aid recharge time, this might be kind of big, got reduced by 25% to 15 seconds. Band-Aid in Showdown is going to be crazy good for sure. Those are all the changes. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you later. Peace.